All right, guys, if you want to uplevel your courage and confidence, you need to use this counterintuitive hack. All right, it's another Tuesday, and we're here with part 2 of our Courage and Confidence series, which is a series about moving forward with courage, with confidence, to empower you to take those steps and begin to move forward on your path, following the excitement of your inner passions and discovering your inner greatness, because your greatness, your brilliant inner genius, is just waiting for you to acknowledge it, for it to be noticed and heard and validated. Did you get that? It's waiting for you, not the other way around. You don't need to keep waiting for inspiration to come and hit you over the head. It's probably knocked on that door a few hundred times, and now it's waiting patiently for you to open the door. You see, where most people get stuck is in the waiting game. Everyone is waiting for their dreams to come true. But in actuality, our dreams are waiting for us to become true to them. Just let that sink in for a moment. Our dreams are waiting for us to become true to them. If you think of all the super creators like Oprah and Elon Musk and Richard Branson, what do they all have in common? They've become true to their dreams, rather than waiting for their dreams to become true to them. And that is what separates these mega creators from those who live average, unfulfilling lives. So, to kick off this video, I'm going to ask you, which camp do you want to wake up in tomorrow? In the dreamers and waiters camp, or in the miracle makers creators camp? Comment below which camp you're committing to waking up in tomorrow morning. Because these super creators, guys, Nikola Tesla and Oprah and Einstein, had to choose to live a fulfilling life by becoming true to themselves and their dreams, right? They made a choice, and you can too. And that's what this video is about today. So last week, we talked about the 3 reasons why you'd want to venture into the unknown, to step outside of your routine, outside of the reliable, and begin to walk into that land of magic and miracles. And if you haven't watched that video yet, I invite you to go check it out, and I'll post it in the link in the comment section below. So we need to cultivate curiosity first to become aware of who you are, where you are, and what you're missing out on, right? That is the first step. And if you're doing the same thing day after day, you're going to continue to feel unhappy and unfulfilled. Not a very fun way to spend the 70 to 90 years that you've got here. That sounds more like a prison sentence. And there is a lot of you who are living your lives like this. But my loves, there is so much more just waiting for you to notice it and to be curious enough to get out there and explore. So my intention for today is to continue to cultivate in you a desire to step outside of that safe zone and realize how much of your life is repeated patterns of sameness, and that life is about evolving. We evolve and then we dissolve. So to really participate in life the way it's meant to be lived, we have to be participating in the evolution and growing. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit more today on what might be holding you back. We talked a little bit about it last week, and I want to come to you from the arena of being a mega creator, because you deserve that. You're destined to be that, but you have to get on that path. All your deservingness and genetically coded greatness isn't going to take you there. You are still the magnificent creator of your life. And we're the only ones, right? It's only us who can make those changes to put ourselves on separate paths. So let me ask you this. If you're driving your car out on the road, say on the highway on a clear sunny day, there's no obstacles, and you just hit the ditch, who's responsible? You. Exactly. You can't blame it on your car. You can't blame it on the vehicle that's taking you there. But that's what most people do. They blame their life not going the way that they desire on everyone else. Well, guess what? It's called your life because it's yours. So let's get into it and see if we can help to rewire some new brain pathways a little more towards your greatness. Our habits, routines, and assumptions about life, they run so deep that we don't even realize lots of times that they're even running our show. And this is a story that I love to share, which really illustrates how we're going through life, not as the creator of our lives, but as this blended in version into our lives as those around us. So there's this story, okay, about this lion cub that was abandoned, and then it ended up being raised by goats. So a completely different life. He grazes like a goat, he bleats like a goat, he skips around like a goat, and he's completely convinced he's a goat because he doesn't know anything else but how to goat. Until one day, another lion shows up. And honestly, he was like, what is going on? He can't believe what he's seeing. This lion is acting like a goat. Totally ridiculous. Eventually, he works on him a little bit and convinces this little lion to have just a taste of some tender gazelle meat. So when he consumes this meat, something in him awakens inside this little lion who thought he was a goat. And he lets out this thunderous roar. The little lion realizes he's not actually a goat. He has awakened to his inner lion. He wasn't living true to his nature. I really want you to take this in. The lion wasn't being true to who he truly is. And like the lion, we too limit ourselves in so many ways without even realizing it. We feel like we don't deserve our dreams because of our experiences or our upbringing. And yes, even our culture can sometimes inundate us by telling us who we are or what we should be doing or how we should be acting. And we need to step outside that. Because when we hold on to a limiting concept of ourselves, what we're actually doing is shutting out other possibilities. That's that bouncer brain at work. And I've talked about it in other videos. Only letting in what you've determined to be important. It thinks it's working for you, but really it's working against you because it's pushing so much away from you that you actually want, those creative ideas, the inspiration. Without realizing it, we're closing the door to feeling deserving of all the things that we actually desire. Listen, my loves, you deserve it. Despite your regrets, your circumstances, or your past, you deserve who you truly are. You deserve to be the lion, not that confused goat anymore that's trying to fit in, but still has some genetic coding for something far greater. Wow, hey, can you sense the inner conflict? No wonder you aren't happy and you're constantly at war with yourself, trying to fit in while sensing that there is something so much bigger beckoning to you. So, if you're ready to finally learn some principles of becoming a miracle maker, how to unlearn struggle and self-doubt, how to get crystal clear on who you are and who you want to be in all areas of your life while discovering your inner genetically coded greatness, and also learning how to connect to your intuitive guidance so that can lead you on your path, I invite you to book an interview call for my upcoming course, You've Got Miracles. And now is a great time to book that call because you can still get in on the early bird discount, which is only available for the month of April. All right, so now that I've fanned that flame of curiosity about venturing into the unknown and what it could hold for you, I want to play in the sandbox just for a couple more minutes, because what most people don't realize is curiosity is the conduit between your higher mind and your physical mind. It's the pipeline through which allness or source or universe or whatever you call your higher consciousness communicates with you. And when we allow ourselves to get into that space of curiosity about what else is out there, guess what happens? We naturally drop off our resistance and our fears. And it only happens in the state of childlike curiosity, of unguarded openness, where divine messages are communicated to us as physical beings, as physicalized souls, which is what we are. And once we receive these insights, whoa, watch out, world, because then we are able to apply the information that we receive to our lives, and the shifts magically and effortlessly occur. It alters our lives in ways that are so much more supportive of our passions, our pleasure, our dreams, and our highest joys. Curiosity is the key that easily unlocks the door of alignment to all that you desire. following your curiosity is a sure way to realign with your true self. You have your curiosity for a reason. How many times, I wonder, have you been intrigued by something? How many times have you followed that impulse to explore it and found out something new or amazing about yourself or the world? Okay, so this is a counterintuitive hack that I was talking about. When you think of courage and confidence, you probably see yourself in a knowing state, right? Where everything is sure and certain. Well, guess what? We talked last week that if you're in that state, you're actually in your past. You're accessing past information, and nothing new can ever come out of your past because it's already happened. So to access the inner confidence and the courage that you're going to need to step into a new area of your future, you will need to invite curiosity along for the ride. Why? Because curiosity trumps fear. It naturally overrides it. Guys, curiosity leads to exploration, natural exploration. So if you want to shortcut your manifestation process to effortlessly release fear and resistance, allow your childlike curiosity to lead the exploration into your new reality. So to illustrate this, I have one more quick little story for you. We all know about Christopher Columbus, right? He's a great explorer. What we don't know is that he made 4 trips from the Atlantic Ocean from Spain in the late 1400s. His first voyage, guys, this is how tenacious this guy is. And as you're listening to the story, I invite you to ask yourself, how many times would I have given up? So his first voyage into the Atlantic Ocean was in 1476. So a while ago, and it nearly cost him his life because his commercial fleet that he was sailing was attacked by French privateers just off the coast of Portugal. Freak out, right? His ship was completely burned, and Columbus had to swim 6 miles back to shore. I'm a land mammal. I'm an ultra runner. I am not a swimmer. So 6 miles or 10 kilometers is a lot for me, but I know some of my followers out there are great swimmers. Shortly after that, he got married, okay? Then he has a son named Diego. Within a very short time, then his wife died. So he's stuck looking after his son with this inner urging to go explore the world. Despite his grief, for nearly 10 painfully long years of relentless pleading and negotiation, Columbus lobbied the European monarchies to bankroll his quest to discover the Western Sea route to Asia. He promised that he could improve the speed of transportation of these traded goods from Asia to Spain rather than a really long and dangerous cross-country path through Arabia. In Portugal, England, and France, the response was the same. Absolutely not. They told Columbus his calculations were wrong and that the voyage would take way longer than he anticipated. Even the royal advisors in Spain were also concerned in a similar fashion. As it turned out, the naysayers were right about how long it would take, and Columbus had dramatically underestimated the Earth's circumference and the size of these massive oceans. But nobody knew, right? We didn't really have a map, so we can't really blame him on being a little bit inaccurate. Here's the thing though, he persisted. And as we now can look back on his historical feat, knowing he became the first in recorded history to ever discover the uncharted Americas in 1942. This was 36 days after sailing west across the Atlantic Ocean. Columbus and several crewmen set out, they finally set foot on an island, which is called in the present day Bahamas, claiming it for Spain. Of course, it wasn't all roses though. On Christmas Eve in 1942, a cabin boy who was running Columbus' ship for him, one of his most prized ships, actually ran it into the coral reef on the northern coast of what's now known as Haiti. And the crew spent a very unmerry Christmas salvaging the cargo. It was declared pretty much a total loss. The ship's timbers were salvaged and used to build a small fort on shore, and that's about it. Because Columbus's original fleet consisted of a moderately sized 70-foot long ship, which was now a fort, and then 2 smaller ships, which were designed just for coastal trading, not for cross-Atlantic missions. But Columbus ventured back bravely to Spain, leaving behind 40 of his 90 crew members. And he left them with really clear instructions to start the first European settlement in the Americas and staking his flag in the unknown land, naming the territory Villa de la Navidad, which is called Christmastown. And I probably mispronounced that, but that's my best. However, when Columbus returned to the settlement in the fall of 1493 on his second mission, he discovered that the Navidad settlement had been destroyed and all of his sailors were massacred. None of the crew were found left alive. All 40 of his men were gone. In one of his journal excerpts, which he journaled a lot, he writes, "I went to sea from the most tender age and I've continued in the sea life to this day. And whoever gives himself to this art wants to know the secrets of nature here below." So he went to sea as a teenager, participating in several trading voyages before this time. His voyages inspired a curiosity in learning about the unknown. What was on the other side? This need to seek answers was a driving force, and it is what propelled him to keep on going. Because as we get into this a little bit deeper, you're going to need a little bit of a driving force, right? Not to mention the excitement of his discovery. Did he feel fear? Heck yeah. Of course he did. But how did he courageously get through so much? Well, by connecting to his curiosity. As indicated in his quote, it was his love and his curiosity in opening up the secrets of the world while at sea that drove him to not give up. This desire drove him to yearn for the discovery of the unknown world. No ship in the 15th century could have carried enough fresh food or water for that long of a voyage. And the dangers of navigating uncharted ocean with the ships that he used were outside of most people's comfort zone. In fact, it was downright in the crazy zone. His crew ate rotten, worm-infested ship biscuits and meat that was cured in brine for 40 days. He didn't have access to our lovely technological compasses, nor did he have a map with a known destination. In Columbus's time, they actually used techniques of celestial navigation, which was based on the positioning of the sun and the stars in the sky. And he explored for the sheer curiosity because of the impulse that burned in his belly to know what was beyond the borders of the highly traveled Spanish coastline. So when you listen to the story, remember I asked you, how many times would you have given up? When you had to eat the worm-infested biscuits, or when you had your first shipwreck, when the place that you settled, when you planned to settle in, was all completely desiccated and all your men were killed? Like, how many things did this guy have to go through when his wife died? You know, when for the 10 years, would you have persisted to get that initial funding despite the multiple rejections? Would you have thought that your first venture that did end in an attack and an absolute burnout, would you have thought those were a life sign saying that you should give up? Would you have been willing to eat, that food? Would you have been willing to make a second voyage when your first fully funded venture ended up in a massive and costly shipwreck? How many times would you have given up? Would you have gone back to your homeland with your head hanging low, asking for more money to continue? The amazing part of the story is he didn't. His commitment to discovering the unknown drove him through experiences where most of us would have given up on our dreams. We would have been our own saboteur of our own dreams. He didn't need anybody else to do that for him. However, and we don't need anyone to do that for us either. We seem to accept the role quite readily for ourselves, that we can seem to sabotage ourselves at every obstacle. Anytime there's a problem, we back off. But if you want to wake up in the camp of the mega creators that I mentioned at the beginning, we need to be willing to stay curious even when obstacles pop up, because they will. But guess what? In my course, and I'm hoping through my videos, you will begin to realize that obstacles are just opportunities in disguise. It really just depends the way you look at them and the way you utilize them. So I hope that this helped you to see how you can easily overcome fear and resistance by harnessing curiosity. You too can supercharge your confidence and your courage to chart a new course and create your own map. I would love for you to share how you're going to use this hack in your life in the comment section below. Make sure to like and share with anyone that you feel might need a little boost to help them stay motivated and confident and courageous towards their dreams. All right, my loves, I hope you have a beautiful week. And remember, we're back next week with another video in this series of what it takes to live a great life of confidence and courage. Much love, and remember, you are the magnificent creators of your life. Mwah.